you for meeting with me again today. And I appreciate you signing the confidentiality form. And just to remind you that this video will be seen by my professor and possibly some of my peers within the counseling program. So this will be for my final. And so I'm glad that you were able to do a follow-up with me in regards to everything. All right?
Okay.
All right, well, once again, thank you for meeting with me. And I just wanted to follow up from when we last had talked. I know it's been a couple of weeks. So just wanted to follow up to see how things were going for you at this point in time. So how have everything been going?
What did we talk about last time?
Well, I can go ahead and refresh you about what we did talk about because I reviewed my notes before I came in to meet with you. We were discussing about some of the concerns you had about graduating, the frustrations you were having in regards to school, and being overwhelmed and thinking about moving to, if I can recall correctly, it was Texas. Okay, so I just wanted to follow up with you on how everything's going. And I know that this is in the middle of your lunch, so feel free to eat lunch while you're in the office.
Okay. So yeah, graduation is still hectic. So the process with that is my advisor messed up my graduation application and he submitted it for the spring and he didn't have it held to the summer, which is when I'm actually graduating. So the registrar's office and financial aid, everyone thinks I'm graduating next week, so like everything's been closed out on my account. I have like diploma fees on my account. Financial aid had me do an exit loan that I thought was for the summer, but it's for the spring. And it's just really, really hectic because it's like I reach out to my supervisor, not my supervisor, but my advisor, and it's like I get no help on this, and it was not my fault. So today I literally spent 2 hours on the phone trying to call the registrar's office to fix this issue myself. And then I spent another hour on the phone talking to financial aid because I need to get my summer school money back that was wiped out because everyone thinks I'm graduating next week.
Okay. It seems like there's a lot going on, so we're going to take it one step at a time. First, I would want you to just breathe so you can relax.
I'm relaxed.
Okay, all right. So I want to go back to what you just told me to make sure that I heard everything correctly. So currently, graduation is still hectic. Remind me what program you'll be graduating from.
The counseling education program.
Counseling education program? Okay. That's an excellent field. As you can tell us, kind of where I graduated from as well. However, it's still hectic. You were you're graduating in the fall. It sounds as though some paperwork got messed up.
Yeah.
And it says you were graduating in the summer. Then you had
No. It said that I'm graduating in the spring. I'm supposed to graduate in the summer.
Okay, I apologize.
I mean, I can't actually like walk until like December, but it'll reflect on my transcript that I graduated in the summer.
Okay, I apologize for that. I'm glad you were able to correct me on that. So some paperwork got mixed up. Then you had some exit loaning and everything. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk about the paperwork and graduation. Tell me how that process works.
Well, like apparently, I don't really remember how lengthy the paperwork was, but I know like I was a part that I filled out, and there was a part that my advisor filled out. And then, well, I fill out my part and I give him the paperwork. And then apparently he's supposed to give the paperwork to Jules. And I really don't know where it goes from there. But all I know is that all my paperwork, it specifically said summer 2017 graduate.
You just mentioned someone named Jules. Who is Jules?
Jules is like the office assistant upstairs, I guess the receptionist.
Okay, and do you remember when you had filled out your paperwork?
Graduation applications had to be turned in, I think, in January.
So this has been going on since January of what year?
2017.
January of 2017. So you completed your part, your advisor completed his part.
Apparently, I don't know.
And who turned it in?
I don't know.
All right. So I just want to have a little bit of clarification so I can see where at how everything worked. So you can go ahead and tell me how that was.
That's basically it.
So when did you?
And so then, I think how I found out is that some email came through to me. I think it was either from the registrar's office or financial aid, like 2 or 3 weeks after. It was like, congratulations, spring 2017 graduate. And so I opened it up and I was like, huh? So then I asked some other people that I know in the program that I graduated in the summer, did they get the same letter? And like they all started freaking out because they thought that they were supposed to get the letter. But it turns out that my application was the only one that had a mistake, and that was put for spring 2017. That was actually a summer application.
It was actually a summer application. Okay.
So then I talked to one of the other counseling students, and so she called Jules, and Jules said that, and I also talked to Dr. Moody about it, who is the chairman of the department. He told me to just write an email, sent to my advisor, and CC him and Jules and Dr. Whiting on it. And I did that, and apparently, you know, it was supposed to be fixed from there because that's what someone who has a graduate assistantship in the office told me, that Jules said it was fixed, so not to worry about it anymore. But then like mid-March, I started getting these emails from financial aid and the registrar's office about graduation, what I need to do. I need to do exit loans. If I don't do exit loans, everything on my account will be put on hold. And so then a week or 2 ago, I emailed Jules. She told me to email my advisor. I emailed my advisor. He said that we would talk about it, and we never talked about it, even when I met with him to talk about it. And then that's literally like, I know it's a lot of information, but that's really what's just going on. So I literally had to take it into my own hands and fix it myself.
So when you and your advisor were supposed to talk about it,
we actually had a lot of stuff that we were talking about. So for me, it kind of actually just slipped my mind. But it was on the list of things. It was the most important thing for me to talk about, but he, brought up something else. And it's just like, it's getting so hectic. It's the end of the semester, and like so many other things are going on in my life that I literally forgot about it. Like when I got in my car, I remembered it. So I sent him an email about it. I was like, look, we just have to talk about it through email, and it just.
So you ended up emailing him about the mistake.
Yep.
And from that email that you sent him, tell me what he said.
Basically, I just need to reach out to the financial aid office and, handle it myself, and the registrar office as well.
So is that what you've been doing?
That's what I've been doing.
And how's all of that making you feel?
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Because it's like not my fault, but then I have to take on all this extra stuff, and it's like the end of the semester, I have assignments due, and it's just overwhelming. But I mean, I got it done, but it's just the fact that I did not have any help or assistance when that's what an advisor is supposed to do.
Okay, and once you felt as though you didn't get your help from your advisor, did you move forward with speaking? I think you said his name was Dr. Moody.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Dr. Moody about it again, but I do plan to. I plan to talk to him about something else. So necessarily not this, because I mean I did handle it already, so it's handled. Whatever, it's cleared out. So no, I don't really have any need to talk to Dr. Moody about it now, since I actually handled it myself.
So you actually got it handled yourself. Did you get it handled that either immediately or?
No. I got it handled today, but it's been an all-day process of going back and forth, talking to this person, they send me to another person, and they send me back to the same person, so that's kind of where it's been at all day.
Okay. All right, so you've gotten that handled, but you're still a bit overwhelmed, it seems. Okay, so that process to you is on this plate of things to do. You've gotten that smoothed out on your plate. Is that what I'm hearing?
It's as smooth as it's going to get.
It's as smooth as it's going to get.
I don't think it's completely smoothed out, but for now it's as smooth as it's going to get.
But it's still a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, for sure.
So you were speaking of something else that's overwhelming you. The school itself can be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Just it being the end of the semester, and you're dealing with the things with financial aid and registrars, I heard you say, but you got that handled.
Yeah.
And with school, you said that this is towards the end of the semester. How's it going with your assignment?
I mean, I got all my assignments done. My assignments are never really an issue for me. So, I mean, it's just like having all this on top of each other. It gets overwhelming. And plus, like, in my own personal life, I have some stuff going on with my job. And that's kind of like, throw that on top of it, it's even more overwhelming. And then, on top of that, like, I still got to find a place to move to in Texas. I still haven't found, like, a place that I want to live at. So you put all this stuff in, like, one pile, like, it's just overflowing, and it's a lot for just one person to handle.
So did you work full-time or part-time while you were in school?
I was working part-time.
So with your job, you said there were some issues going on. What is currently going on?
Well, I can't really discuss it in detail, but basically my job tried to tell me that an incident that happened a month ago that I brought up to a parent. I'm a rehabilitation technician, by the way. Well, I was. So an issue that came up last month that I brought forward to a parent for my client, my client's mother, you know, just to let her know that, you know, hey, this was a situation that happened tonight, and it's because you guys didn't provide the right stuff for us that night. So I brought it to her attention a whole month ago on the same night that it happened. And so on Monday, my QP called me and she talked about the situation. She said the mother had just called her about it. And so they were like, you're not going to work with this client anymore and all this other stuff. And so it was a bit frustrating because I put so much time and effort into this client. I've even declined better jobs just for the well-being of this client because I know her mind state and how that would affect her. And so, you know, just to hear like her bring up something that happened a whole month ago that was literally her fault is just like mind-blowing. So if you just add that on top of all the other things that I'm kind of dealing with, it's just like super overwhelming.
Okay. All right. So you got school, you got work, and then you spoke about moving and what's going on with trying to move to Texas. But I remember looking back at my notes, you were saying that if something at school didn't work out right, that it was going to hold up your move from Texas. Is that still?
Yeah, so this co-graduation thing, well, actually no. So like now that this is kind of like in place, me trying to work on that, there's no hold in me moving to Texas.
It's not?
No.
Okay, so you're still planning to move?
Yeah.
When are you going to move? When are you looking
I mean,
to
that's still the issue. Like, I don't know exactly when I'm going to move because I still have to go to summer school. And so I think summer school ends, the last week of July? And then my lease ends like 2 weeks before summer school ends. So it's just out there conflict of things going on. Like, I still like, I was going to go to Texas because I was going to start in this doctoral program at University of North Texas. But now I really, really, really want to take a break
from
school.
school?
So I just want to take like a year off because I think mentally I need this year off. So the plan was to go to school at University of North Texas in a doctoral program for educational psychology. But I already talked to the people in the program and I was going to be in the program, but I just want to take a year off for my mental state. And so when you're not going to the University of North Texas anymore, I don't necessarily have to live in Dallas anymore. And so now it's just like, okay, so this year that I'm just going to be off and relaxing and stuff, it's like where do I want to live? And so I don't necessarily just want to move to Dallas now. So that's why I don't know, where exactly I'm living at as far as an apartment right now. I kind of wanted to check out Austin, Texas, and then I kind of want to check out Houston, Texas. But I don't want to be like so far away from Dallas because I know I'm gonna, after a year off, I'm gonna go into the doctoral program.
Mhm.
It's just that right now, since I don't have to be in Dallas, I don't necessarily like want to just live in Dallas. I want to kind of experience another city and then move to Dallas, since I'll be there for almost 3 to 6 years
Mhm.
when I start the program. And so for me right now, looking at apartments is like literally in the back of my head.
Mhm.
Like I'm not even thinking about it, but I know that it's coming up. But with everything else going on, I haven't thought about it. But I know that I need to pick a city that I'm actually going to want to live in for a year. But I'm kind of torn between Austin and Houston.
Mhm.
So,
So it seems as though you are able to recognize when you're burned out from school. Do you think you're burned out at this point from school?
I definitely think so.
You think so? Okay. Well, that's good that you can recognize when you're burnt out, so that it won't bring more stress onto you. So you're taking a year off. You've already spoken with the school, and so after speaking with them and handling that, how did you feel?
I mean, it was good to know that I could be in the program, but it's also good to know that I can take a year off.
That you can also take a year off, you
Yeah.
said? Okay. All right, so taking that year off, would that leave you to still stay in Raleigh?
I mean, if I got a job here,
Mm-hmm.
that could, that was a good job. I
Mhm.
mean, I would consider staying for that year that I'm taking off. But I don't know at this moment. So, I mean, I know moving to Texas is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So at this moment, it all depends on like where I get a job at first.
Mm-hmm. So that brings up something else. You're currently looking for a job,
I am currently looking for a job.
and tell me what that process has been like for you and how things have been going for you on that.
I mean, every day, like I wake up and I think I fill out at least 15 applications a day.
Okay.
I hear back from some, I don't hear back from some. So I mean, I know job hunting is a process, and you have to just mentally just go with it.
Right.
So for me, it's just not a big deal. I can wake up and do 15 applications a day.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, someone has to call
Right.
with a good offer.
Right.
I mean, I've had callbacks and stuff, but it's just like that's not necessarily the best fit for me after
Right.
all. So for that, it's just not.
And how long have you been going through the job application process?
Since like the beginning of April.
April of this year?
Yeah, I just started looking. Like it hasn't been too long.
Hasn't been. Okay, so you're doing at least 15 applications a day looking for a job.
Mhm.
You're getting some callbacks, which it sounds to be a positive thing.
Yeah, it is.
And but you're not giving up on that. It sounds as though.
No, I mean it's a process. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Job hunting is a process.
What are some of the jobs you're looking at?
So I've looked at mental health jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at childcare jobs. I'm actually just looking for the summer right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I prefer something part-time because I still have to do my internship in the summer. So I've been looking for like camp counselor jobs that are like part-time, first shift in the morning or in the afternoons,
Mm-hmm.
or like childcare jobs that are just looking for like part-time work since I have experience in both.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you just brought up something new for me.
Yeah.
Internship. All right. Were you doing internship before? And where was your internship at before?
My internship was on campus at North Carolina Central University in the Disability Students Office.
Mm-hmm.
And saying that, like I just remember, like that's another hectic part that's going on right now because like 2 weeks ago, I mean I've loved being at my internship, but like 2 weeks ago, my supervisor got fired.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of put me in like this very weird situation. Like I didn't have a supervisor in the office, and it was just me and another graduate student. And it's like we were handling everything that the director was supposed to do, but since they let me go, we were taking on more responsibilities. So I reached out to my internship class supervisor,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me to just stay there and that he would supervise me.
Mm-hmm.
Any issues that came up, he would, be there,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah, blah. And, but then he ultimately told me that, with the program, told me that I have to find a new internship. for the summer.
For the summer.
Because I was going to stay there for the summer.
Okay.
So you put that in there. Summer school starts in like, what, 3 weeks? So it's just like, so you want me to find a new internship in 3 weeks?
So you're looking for a new internship as well?
As well.
As a
And
job.
that is not going good at all.
Okay.
Like, everybody has already gotten their interns for the summer/fall. And so it's just like, hey, you're a little too late. We filled up all of our slots. That's what I'm hearing back from absolutely everyone. And so that is another thing. So it's for me, it's like if I don't find an internship by the time summer school starts, then I'm going to have to move internship to the fall, and I don't have the money to move internship to the fall. Like, I don't know who's going to pay for an extended semester.
Okay.
So yeah, that is another thing that's going on. Like, it's just so much that I'm kind of like forgetting everything that's actually going on. It's just so much. It's so overwhelming.
And so, okay, so you admit that you're overwhelmed right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely overwhelmed.
Okay, were you ever at any point of denial of not being overwhelmed?
Mm-mm.
How long have you been feeling overwhelmed?
The whole month of April.
The whole month of April.
The whole semester.
So the whole semester.
The whole
so
semester.
It's no longer April.
No,
It's the whole semester.
It's the
from
whole
January
semester.
where you felt as though things were getting a little hectic, as you said before,
Yeah.
with the graduation. Okay. So it's been, since I last seen you, it's been a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I know that you had a significant plan and what was supposed to happen. I remember you saying something about taking a test as well, which I'll go back to that. But first, let's talk about this internship that you just brought up. So your internship, you worked at Student Services.
Student Disability Services.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Student Disability Services at North Carolina Central University. The director ended up, who was, I take it that was your intern supervisor. Your director ended up getting released from his position.
Yeah.
So that left you at the internship without supervision. However, your class supervisor was going to supervise you. And then they bring to you that you will have to find another one for the summer. Okay. With your internship, I just remember when I was, taking these courses to get my counseling degree. I remember that there was a certain amount of hours that we had to do. Have you met your hours? Did you get all your hours?
So since I split it up into 2 semesters, it's 300 hours per semester. But for this semester, I did 400 hours.
Congratulations. That's great. So that leaves you with having to do how many more hours?
300 hours. It doesn't count. The extra hours doesn't count.
Okay, can you explain to me the reason why the extra hours aren't going to count?
I mean, that's what I was told by the class intern supervisor. I signed up for 300 hours for the semester, and that's all that they'll take.
Okay. Okay, and when did you find this out? Was it before you did?
I already knew.
Oh, you already knew. Okay. So you got your 400 hours, which technically you only needed 300. So congratulations on getting over that. That's a great accomplishment. So that's 300 hours at that internship. So for the summer, you're going to need 300 more. Is that? And that would get your internship complete. Okay. So you're currently looking for interns and intern sites, and you've been told that at this point, what?
They've found their interns or practicum students for the summer.
And when did you have to start looking for this?
Last week.
So let's look at the fact that if you do not get an internship this summer, what's the next step?
Well, I don't want to actually look at it that way because I do have people helping me now. My supervisor, who was my supervisor at the Student Disability Services, he's now looking for me and told me not to, because I was told that I should change it right now from the summer to the fall. And so I talked to him because he's also a mentor for me. And he told me to keep it for the summer because I would find an internship by the time summer school started and he would help me. So I don't want to think of it that way mean, but I know like if a week before summer school starts and I still don't have an internship, then clearly it would have to be moved to the fall.
So it sounds like to me that you've already made plans, or that if you didn't get it in the summer, that you were going to be comfortable moving it to the fall?
I'm not comfortable with moving it to the fall because I don't know how it's going to get paid
Okay.
as far as financial aid.
Okay, so would you use summer school money? Could you use summer school money to pay for the fall if you don't
No.
go to summer school? No. Okay. So this to you is a crunch that you need to have for summer school. So that's more stress. So with all the stress and anxiety that you're talking about right now, talk to me about what you're doing to help yourself cope in this situation.
Honestly, I don't necessarily know if I'm doing anything to help myself cope.
Have you ever been to had any anxiety or stress before?
I mean, I have anxiety when I take tests,
Okay.
but to this level, no.
Okay, and so you just brought up about anxieties for tests, and it reminded me that you were speaking about a competence test, and you
I don't
don't
wanna talk
have
about that.
anxiety. Okay, you don't want to speak about it. Okay, all right, and I understand that. So with your and with your stress and your anxiety, whenever you would have tests, what would you do to try to alleviate it?
I mean, I try to meditate, do deep breaths, breathe in, breathe out, relaxing exercises, but I mean, they do help, but it's just that, I mean, I knew I had test anxiety, so I knew what to do to calm myself down, as long as like I'm in a place where I'm comfortable when I get ready to take the test.
Okay.
So what I do for test taking, what's going on right now, just that would work.
Okay. Well, since we're here, let's look at some possible options that you may help, with your stress and with your anxiety. I know that you're handling the thing with the registrar right now. You said that is smoothed over at this point, so that's something off your plate. So the internship and the job, that's your main concern right now. Okay.
And moving.
And moving out of Raleigh, or out of this apartment, what that?
Texas.
So moving to Texas. And have you set a deadline yet?
No, we're just talking about that.
Okay. All right. So no set deadline, but it's still something that's on your plate. Okay. All right. So whenever you get stressed out or get anxiety, not just from taking tests, but just from regular everyday life, tell me, what does that feel like for you?
It just feels like when it rains, it pours. And like, I don't have an umbrella. I'm just getting soaking wet. And the thunderstorm comes over and makes it worse.
So it sounds to me that you feel as though everything comes down at once, and you have nowhere to feel protected. Is there ever any place, physically or in your mind, that you feel protected?
I mean, at home with my parents.
At home with your parents. So with all this stress and anxiety that's going on, have you taken time to go visit your parents?
I don't have to die. Like if I leave, like how am I going to continue to deal with all this stuff? Like I just can't leave.
So is it the home that is the home of your parents that keeps you feeling protected and safe, or is it just actually having the physical presence of your parents with you?
I think it's both.
It's both.
Whenever I've got stressed out before, maybe to this level, it's been like since 2008 when I first went off to school. The only thing that comforted me was going home. Because it's like in the middle of nowhere. And it was just my comfort zone.
Okay. Well, since you said that right now you feel like you can't go home, have you ever looked at the fact that maybe your parents can come visit you?
works every single day, Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday. So he has a stressful job.
Yeah.
Okay. Would your mom be able to visit you?
My mom is disabled, so she gets really sick. So for her traveling that long period of time, she wouldn't be able to do either.
Okay, so have you been talking to your mom or your dad or both
I talk to both of them every day.
about the situations at hand?
Mhm.
Have they given you any type of guidance or comfort, you feel?
I mean, they give me comfort, but it's just not the same as them being in my presence. I mean, I hear what they're saying on the phone, and it all, you know, I'm very appreciative of all the advice and the encouragement, but it doesn't do much
Yeah.
for my anxiety
So,
and everything that's going on.
so they've been encouraging you and having you been talking to them daily about everything that's been going on. Okay. So it seems as though going to visit is not an option, and you're saying that them coming to visit with you is not an option. But you are utilizing the phone, and the phone has been working for you for right now. And with you talking to them, has that alleviated you some?
A little.
Mm-hmm.
A little. Like, I think I literally had like a mental breakdown. Like, I was just calling my dad on Tuesday, and all he said was hello, and I started bawling and crying.
What do you think would cause you to bawl and cry?
Everything that's going on.
Okay.
It was just too overwhelming. Like, I was calling him to talk about it. He literally just said hello, and I just started crying.
After you cried, did you feel any better?
No.
No. Did he offer anything to help comfort you and calm you down? Do you feel as though?
Yeah, always.
Always? Okay. All right. So it sounds as though your protection is your parents, and you feel very protected with them, which is, that's a great thing. But do you feel as though your anxiety or stress is taking any type of physical toll on you besides mentally being stressed out?
I think so. I think because literally I just want to sleep, and that's about it. Like, I don't even want to eat. Like, this is my first time eating in like 2 days, a full meal.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you brought something to eat, and I'm glad that, you know, you're eating today.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said if you don't eat whenever you're stressed out.
I mean, I normally eat when I'm stressed out. I love food, but this level of stress, it just took away my appetite. So I wasn't really hungry. So I didn't eat a full meal, but I was drinking, fluids and stuff.
Okay, so drinking fluids, you've been trying to keep up with things, but you felt as though your appetite was gone. So some of the stress came off on you, it seems to be, with the things moving out with registrars at school, you speaking with your parents a bit, so a little bit of your appetite came back?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you have a plan for whenever you lose your appetite, you try to keep yourself with fluids, okay? Whenever you get to this level of stressed out, have you ever looked into painting or exercising?
I exercise every day.
Okay.
I do home indoor exercising, but I'm glad you brought up painting because that's literally all I've been doing this week
Okay.
is painting
Okay.
because it's a hobby and it has occupied my mind.
Okay.
So I was just literally doing it before you came here, but all week long I've been painting pictures. And when you leave, I'm probably going to paint some more pictures.
So painting, it sounds as though it takes your mind off of that.
Any craft.
So you like to do crafts? Okay, so you're utilizing the use of crafts and talking with your parents to help with this stress. So I didn't even know you paint. That is such a great hobby to have, and it can help keep your mind at ease. How long have you been painting?
Well, I've been into crafts since I was like in middle school.
Okay.
So my parents had already supported my crafts. So, but I hadn't painted painted in WoW. So like, I don't know, like a week or two ago when this like became a little too overwhelming, I just thought, hey.
I didn't quite get that.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
I was like, hey, I'll paint to ease my mind. And I just went and brought some paint. And it's not like actual painting pictures, it's just like I'm making patches. So I'm like painting pictures onto fabric. And so, I mean, it does ease my mind. Like last night, I think I stayed up so late just painting pictures. Trying not to just sleep the day away.
Okay.
So painting is something I really love. Any craft.
Any craft. So right now you're focusing on the paintings. So that painting has helped with easing things for you as well. Okay. Well, that's awesome to hear, and that's a great hobby to have and to help bring down some of your stress. So now that your appetite is back, do you think you'll try to keep more nourishment in your body at this point?
That'll probably be the only thing I eat today.
Okay. And drinking fluids?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So drinking fluids can help keep your electrolytes up as well, but I want you to remember to try to at least eat something, even if it's just an apple or something to keep food within your system, which will help a lot with your anxiety. So we have a lot it sounds as though you have a lot going on. However, it also sounds as though you took steps forward to help get that solved as well. And it seems as though you have plans in place. Am I correct?
I always have plans.
Okay, so
It just gets overwhelming sometimes.
So, you're right. And so being overwhelmed and being stressed out, I feel as though once you came back into, do you feel as though talking about it has helped thus far?
I mean, it could have. But I feel like I've talked about it all week. So I feel like it could help. But I like to just keep stuff in and not talk about it. I mean, I know it's not a healthy thing.
Okay.
But I just constantly talking about it and people constantly asking me questions, you know, what am I doing? How are you feeling? Blah, 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 blah. I like to just keep it in and do my crafts.
And so crafts, it sounds as though, is really, besides with your parents, is really something that really helps bring your stress level down and keep you.
I don't necessarily have to talk to somebody.
Right.
As long as I'm using my hands for a craft,
That's great.
that's good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have to talk about it. But since it was so overwhelming this time, I mean, I did talk about it. But I don't want to constantly talk about it. So, yeah.
Okay. Logically, it sounds as though you have things under control, but you also understand that whenever things get too overwhelmed for you, that you feel as though you can reach out to someone and talk to them, including coming to see a counselor, which I do applaud you for that. And I'm glad that you're able to recognize your symptoms of stress and anxiety and how to help decrease them as well. Yeah? Okay. All right, so is there anything else you felt as though you want to briefly discuss or talk about? I mean, you talked about and told me a lot of things that has happened within the last couple of weeks.
I think that's about it. I mean, my birthday was on Monday.
How was your birthday?
It would rain the entire day, and I mean like pouring rain the entire day.
Well, did you do anything beforehand or did you do anything afterward? And yes, you're correct. It did rain all day Monday. And I'm sorry, if I'm not mistaken, it rained Tuesday as well. But did you do anything beforehand or afterwards?
I mean, the rain's not such a bad thing. It symbolizes good luck.
Correct.
So maybe
I love your outlook. I appreciate that. That's great.
Maybe things will go uphill from here.
Yes.
Yeah, the day before I went out to eat with my friends. My cousin came into town.
Okay.
So I went out to eat with a small group of friends at the Cheesecake Factory. And it was just really fun for them to come out and support my birthday.
Okay, so being with those group of friends, how did that make you feel?
You know what? It was actually refreshing.
That's awesome.
It was refreshing. It's always good to see my cousin.
Okay.
Because we're like BFFs.
That's good. Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank
and
you.
I'm glad that you are recognizing that you were 1 year older and you got through all your obstacles and so forth.
So far.
You're taking one day at a time.
One day at a time.
All
That's
right.
all I can do.
Okay. Well, I thank you for taking time to meet with me and talk with me about everything. And anytime that you feel as though you get too overwhelmed or have too much going on, my doors are always open. I'm one phone call away, so we can set up an appointment. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for meeting with me.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
You too.
We got